What's up everybody, Unrested here, and I have been tagged by Amadofu for a thing called Asian Obsession. So it's a list of questions that talk about your obsession with all things Asian. I don't know if I'm overly obsessed, but I'm definitely very much into many Asian things, having lived in Japan now for 8 years, of course, and over time that's just increased. So I definitely could put myself into this category. So I've written down the questions. And I'm just going to answer them one by one as we go along here. Starting first with favorite drama. Favorite drama in Japan would probably be Kazoku Game, which was a story about a guy who is a tutor for a family with two children. The one boy is having trouble in school. He helps that kid, meanwhile putting all these plots in order to help the family out via kind of an anarchy leading to order situation. It's very complex. You should watch it. What is your first drama you ever watched? That would be a very, very bad drama called Tokyo Friends. It was very old, and the main reason I watched it was for learning Japanese, and it was free to watch on YouTube. So I don't really have fond memories of it. It was actually a pretty silly plot full of love triangles that were absurd. Nonetheless, it did teach me a lot of very normal Japanese, like very down-to-earth, everyday conversation Japanese. Favorite movie. My all-time favorite movie, it's kind of hard to categorize one movie as there's so many different types, and as you know, I'm really into horror, but one of my favorite comedies here in Japan is a comedy called The Magic Hour, and I highly recommend you watch that. My favorite kind of thriller action would probably be Ushi Yamajima-kun, The Lone Collector, and my favorite horror movie would probably be a rarely known little small film known as just Haunted Apartments. That's all it was called in Japan, and probably Shiroime was another one. My favorite singer or band or musical group. I guess what I can only list one, or am I supposed to list one of each? I'm going to list one of each. Probably my singer. My favorite singer in Japan is the singer from Ikimonogakari. If I was going to say my favorite band, it would probably be either Crystal Lakes, Crossfaith, or Maximum the Hormone. My favorite, music video is next. My favorite all-time music video, I would probably say, even though the music itself isn't that great in the video, now not saying the band's horrible, but their music in this video's not really up to par, is Durian Gray's Obscure. If you want to see a very sickeningly scary, crazy, creepy video, go watch Obscure and make sure you look for the uncensored version, and you'll see some crazy shit that will make Marilyn Manson look like a baby. Let's see, countries visited in Asia. I've only been here in Japan and Korea. I took a little ferry over to Korea via Cosmo Square in near Bentensho. Let's see, crud, I wrote this one really bad. Oh, favorite anime and manga. My all-time favorite anime would probably be a movie called Freedom, which was done by the same artist who did Akira. My favorite manga, that's a really hard one. Either every horror manga done by Ochazuke Nore or Gantz. Favorite Asian food, that's another hard one. The good thing is it says it's Asian because Mabudan is my all-time favorite. It's like pretty much ground beef mixed with tofu and some kind of sauce that I don't know exactly what's in it, but it tastes great. I could probably eat that every day. Supposedly it's from China, but we eat it in Japan a lot, and there's Japanese versions of it, so I don't know if you want to call that a Chinese dish or a Japanese dish or a Chinese dish that has Japanese versions, but it says favorite Asian food, so those are both Asian. How did your obsession start? Well, I would say actually it was kind of an odd thing for me. Most people I think probably start very young. I guess my first introduction to anything at all Japanese was one time when I was like, I think 10 or 11, I went to Blockbuster and wanted to rent something that was action-oriented. And I did that via cartoons, and I kept looking for something more and more extreme in cartoons because I was really into art back then still, and still am to today since it's my job. But I was like looking for more extreme versions of more extreme cartoons, and the guy working there was like, "Do you know what Akira is?" And I was like, "What? I have no clue what the hell you're talking about. I didn't even know anime existed. I didn't know Japan had amazing cartoons." And so he pulled me aside and said, "Look, you're gonna have to ask your parents to rent this for you because it's 18 plus. But this shit's fucking crazy." Like he explained it, told me about how like it's all this mind-blowing shit that's just they made tiny models and blew up tiny buildings and then retroscoped drawings over top of it to make it, and I was just like, what the fuck? So I rented that. My dad said okay, but he watched it with me, and luckily he likes sci-fi, so he thought it was cool. He thought, wow, this is a cool sci-fi movie. And we watched it there, and I was just like, oh my god, like every little amount of detail, I can't believe this stuff. So probably already at that point, I don't know if I was obsessed with Japan, but I knew there was a high level of technical ability when it came to art, and me being into art did definitely spur my interest. How has it influenced your life? Well, I mean, it is my life now. God, everything I do here every day is related to something Asian or Japanese at least. Everything from how I dress, because fashion here is always avant-garde. I guess the learning of language, because I have to learn the language just to speak. Everything I watch every day is Japanese TV, so I guess it's my everyday media in almost every outlet. I will say it's really, I guess, opened my mind to seeing my own country through Asian eyes. And I know that sounds kind of funny, or maybe some of you think racist, but no, not racist at all. I'm just saying you really get to know your own country better if you go to another section of the world and see how they see your place that you're from. You get a totally different view, and I guess that's kind of altered my own view, and that's how it's influenced my own life, is I've gotten to take a look at how my country affects other countries and Asian countries via the eyes of the Asians who live here. Anyway, that's covering up the tag for, I want to just say Tof, because I always think of him as Tof on Facebook, but it's Amadofu, and I'm hoping I'm saying that name right. Tof? Tof? I'm not even going to try and say your last name, bro. You got some kind of symbol above it that I don't even know. Okay, so I got to tag some people, huh? Let me go ahead and tag Hiko Simon, which probably he won't even hear this or notice it, but that's okay. I know he's a busy man. Let me go ahead and tag Well Rested, who is actually a vlogger, Rich Apocalypse, and Grand Film Studios. All right, see you guys next time. I'm Unrested. If you like what you saw here today, like, comment, and subscribe.